It's simple. Just try to sit with your emotion. Because there are actually three ways that many people deal with emotions in the wrong way. They try to avoid it, or they try to avoid any action that might lead to this emotion. And when you do that, you miss out on a lot of life. You miss out on the feeling, the beautiful feeling. You miss out on that. You miss out on the beautiful feeling of life, or of the emotions that accompany this emotion. Yeah, it might be fearful, but it's also exciting. It's thrilling, you know. It's like you're always on top. It's always on inside. You don't always have to do this. And the second way is that many people try to internalize it in ways that like, oh yeah, I'm just feeling, or I'm a afraid person. Try to internalize that, oh yeah, I'm a sad person, or I'm an afraid person. Said who you are when you're not afraid. Because with that happens, it causes an identity crisis. And when you internalize, it's not good for you because you feel tied to it. You feel you're putting yourself in a case, and that's not good either. Third thing is they try to deny it. They try to deny the emotion exists. They try to deny it exists and they try to shy away from it. That's not correct because it's going to keep growing. And when it keeps growing, it will grow to the point that you cannot even hide it anymore. And so the goal is simple, just let it flow. Let it flow, just like water. Let it flow through your body. Allow yourself to feel bad. Allow yourself to feel like garbage because you don't need to always feel great. The truth is, instead of moving, you're going to feel like garbage sometimes. You're going to feel like real garbage, okay? Like not the good, not the good garbage, but like this really smelly garbage. Like can feel like a really smelly garbage. I'm going to tell you this. Sometimes it's going to feel like really smelly garbage, okay? And it's okay. It's okay because if you allow yourself to feel it and not internalize it, let it flow through your body and let it flow out. It's that simple. Take a deep breath, let it flow. It is just that simple. You don't need to have all these mental gymnastics or who I am, who I am, who I am. And when you allow it to flow through you, you're more likely to do what I'm going to tell you right now, which is to turn that negative emotion into something productive. And that productive thing does not have to be like work, like this is not going to be one of these videos that's going to tell you, oh, sacrifice yourself for the rest of your life. No, no, I'm not going to tell you to sacrifice someone. I'm not going to tell you to always sacrifice, or to always work until after any conditions. Because sometimes that's not even possible. Sometimes you will need to take a day off. Sometimes you will not be able to work. And that's okay. That is totally okay. Because sometimes you will not be able to do your regular amount of work. And that's okay. That is definitely acceptable. Because it could be anything. It could you doing more good deeds to Allah Azza wa Jal. It could be making dua, crying to Allah Azza wa Jal. Because pain comes to all of us. It's not the thing that comes to me and you. It comes to every single one of us. Like all people in the all people, everybody on the earth have felt some form of pain, even if they like stopped the door or something. Yeah. But use that to start doing something, sending it into something productive. Because when you do that, you are healing in a way because you're not just drowning in sorrow or drowning in self-pity. You're just going to be, like I think, okay. And that's the trick, actually, is trying to turn that into an act of worship. And it's going to lead to the third point is taqwa, or the feel of Allah Azza wa Jal. Because if you feel Allah Azza wa Jal, like trust me, nothing is going to face you. Or like I mean, like yeah, I'm not going to tell you that you're going to be fearless or you're going to be untouchable. Of course you'll be touchable. Of course you'll be fearless. Like many people were, like many people were stressful, but When you have this fear of Allah Subhanahu and you care about suffering and praise and doing all of that, reading the Quran, I mean you always put Allah Subhanahu first. And yeah, I do fear to do that sometimes. I do fear. I fear, it's okay. But let's continue. I mean, like, I thought, of course, that to be better. Yeah, like, I'm not going to embrace that part, but I'm just, going to let it flow through me, I'm not internal that thing, but I will just let it flow and I will try to be better. But the thing is that because taqwa gives you strength without ego, it makes you calm, clear, controlled, and most importantly, it heals you. And which is one of the things okay, sorry, heals you and it makes your soul comes up to you because there's stories there were two boys that will, go to the river and fill it and then go back to the house. Like it was a long journey and like so that he puts a ball like on top of their head and they would like walk all the way and all the way back like to their place. And sometimes they would just sit there, not eating, not talking, they would just sit. Now, and when people asked them, they said, we're just waiting for our souls to get up. So you need to do that. You need to wait for your soul to get up by not stimulating yourself, by waiting to be who you are. Because this journey of self-improvement isn't to make a new, it is a purpose. It's not to make a new, it's not to give yourself a new life. No, it is meant to make you find who you were always inside, deep down. Until all of this, like dopamine, until all of this, like who are you? Who were you? Until everything. Until all of the seeds of like, stimulation, until everything, like under some millions of seeds that your iPad or your phone or your games cause you to have. Who are you in all of that? Like until all of this, it's like an onion. When you peel these layers of like dopamine, it reaches to the center, and the center is you. And that's what self-improvement, the goal of like self-improvement or like the goal of like development does. Starts to make you find who you are. Because it's not the way you think. It's not when the muscle, money, or the power comes, that's when your personality comes. But no, you need to find out who you are first by giving yourself science to your brain. Like a little time of like 10 minutes, 5 minutes without stimulating, without doing anything. Just you sitting on your bed or like sitting anywhere actually. And just, you know, think, try to destabilize or try to destimulate yourself. That, unstimulate. Okay, unstimulate yourself because one of the best things you could have is identity driven habits. And these identity driven habits are the strongest self habits because you're not motivated by, oh, I want to be this person. You're motivated, you're motivated by, I am this person. Because when something relates to your identity, to yourself, it feels like a part of you. You cannot let it go. It feels strong. It feels good. I mean, like if it's the correct type of thing, if it's not a self-destructive habit, but if it's a good habit, like something like you identify as a good student or you identify as someone who is hardworking, that's going to be a habit for you. That's okay. And yeah, life does get in the way. Life does come and through, and sometimes it could like whip us, man. It could like beat us really hard, yeah. Sometimes you don't want to do it, but you have to get your lips in because it's not about the quality, it's about the quantity, which is going to be the next lesson is try to be disciplined through the pain. Because disciplined isn't just when you're it's when you're healing. And of course, you're not going to be able to do the same amount of reps you're going to do. It's okay, just do some actual exercises. Keep showing up, even by little. even if it's by recording a sword, even if it's going to study for 1 minute, even if it's literally like taking a walk, like literally outside your house for a minute and then coming back in, even if it's just reading one page, one ayah of the Quran, even if it's just saying Astaghfirullah Azim only one time, even if it's doing, even if it's like playing one super octave, like no, playing one sunnah prayer, it's that easy because that's what consistent is. Consistency is doing things in a small way because our prayers, our salah, initially they were 50, yeah, they were 50 prayers, like 50 obligatory prayers, but they reduced it to five. It's like it takes like 30 minutes of the whole day, and then you're done. And then you don't have to do everything else. So Islam has consistency in it because, and you could even like lots of prayer. So that's consistency because you don't have to do a lot. So it's easier for you to keep showing up, and it becomes easier for you to form that connection to Allah Azza wa Jalla. And which is going to be our next topic is try to talk to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Make dua. Make dua to Allah Azza wa Jalla. And try to be honest with him about yourself. Because I'm not doing this, you know. Because real healing starts by being real to your creator, you know. Because the thing is, he already knows what you're going through. He knows what is on your mind. He knows what you want, what you don't want. He knows everything. He just wants to hear it from you. That's it. It's like that muscle that knows the side wants something and the side is not telling. Like he knows what exactly you want, but he just wants you to admit it. He wants you to say it to her. It's okay. Wakafur Rahim. Just ask for forgiveness, asking for strength. It's okay. And the thing that really helps a lot, like it's one of the most important lessons, is that remember, everything is temporary. All emotions are temporary. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. Is that it is just that simple. Nothing is permanent. Because when you look back at your life, you felt like you felt the exact same feeling, not the exact same, but you felt a similar feeling to this many times. And yeah, these times were weaker, but you still did some practice. You still had instances like this. You still came across the same things. And so, guess what happened in the end? Every single time we beat the odds, we won. Like we won against the emotion. It went away. Like it's scared, bro. It went. Oh boy. Like it went. The emotion went because all emotions are temporary, even good ones. Because there was a test where they compared someone who won a lottery and someone who was literally paralyzed. Like imagine someone who had this happiness, like winning the lottery, and someone who was paralyzed, like he couldn't walk. Like imagine winning $1 million, being paralyzed, cannot even walk. Imagine. And she found after a year, something like this, they were at the same happiness level. Like imagine someone who won money and someone who literally lost their body. Like no sugarcoating. Like they have lost the ability to walk. Like they have become paralyzed. And it's like one of the worst things ever. And so we tend to overshoot things. We tend to overestimate the danger. It was good back in the day when when there was actually danger, but nowadays, yeah, there is danger, but it's not like back in the day where you could die. Like inshallah, we're not putting that situation. There are instances where you could die, and inshallah Ta'ala says does not happen. Rabbil Alameen. The thing is that everything inside will be okay. You don't have to always, have your thoughts up to your ear. You don't always like have to put your thoughts like that. Just relax them, relax. Remember, you went through something similar a lot of times, and this time is slightly different, but other than that, it's not very different. So, healing does not mean you lose your ex. It doesn't mean you lost who you are. Because you don't have to be broken to go to the, you know, to go to the fix it. You don't have to be broken to be fixed. Because maybe things like, oh yeah, okay, I will heal when I'm done with everything. But no, you don't have to, like your engine does not have to bust before you have to go to, you know, things, things it again. It's okay. Because imagine like a lady when like the car comes in order to change it wheels, yeah. That's literally what healing is. It's like they're taking a break, just going, changing the wheels, coming back to the race. It's that simple. And thing is, remember, it's like self-improvement is not supposed to compare yourself to others. It's meant to compare yourself to who you were yesterday or who you were the last year. And so, if you're on the journey of being more devoted, of being disciplined, of being hardworking, then you're successful. You are already the best version of yourself. And if you did enjoy the video, then Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I mean, like, okay, no. Like, okay, nah. I mean, like, if you did enjoy the video, then Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.